What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Dermy Wormy. I'm coming at you with another video. And ever since Amazon Prime, The Rings of Power basically got over with, finished, things have been kind of quiet. Things have been, a little stirring here or there, maybe a rumor here, maybe a rumor there, maybe some change up here, maybe some change up there. But we really haven't had very many people come out here and discuss this publicly at all because, well, they know it's a stinker, and they know that it's a very hot topic to ever discuss. So when you have an actual director of the show come out here and bemoan fans, it's quite a wonderful day. The Lord of the Rings of Power director Charlotte Branstone bemoans Tolkien fans judging the show before it came out. That's right, she's critical of Tolkien fans judging her show before it came out and not accepting it and not being thankful for what she did and how hard they worked on it. And we'll get more into her actual quotes and what she actually said. But it begs the question, I wonder why Tolkien fans, people that, live their life learning and researching the man, going through notes and notes and notes and notes that he has made, cataloging his life, experiencing this magical world that he put so much effort into to create. I wonder why they were critical of Rings of Prime. I wonder. Couldn't possibly be from just a snippet, some of the snippet of stuff that I've been able to pull up now, which is, again, just a little bit of stuff that maybe led fans to say, this show's probably bad. It couldn't be like the Lord of the Rings of Power showrunner admits they don't have the rights to the Silmarillion or Unfinished Tales, which, by the way, the main story within the Rings of Power actually relies heavily on the Unfinished Tales or the Silmarillion, but they don't have that. They only have a small little tidbit of the appendices. So without that, you're basically just going off the reservation and making your own fan fiction that's honestly garbage. But what else could they have had? Oh yeah, the Lord of the Rings of Power official Prime Video Superfans review puts the focus in racial identity politics. Those of you that don't remember the Superfans clip, remember that was 3 individuals, one talking about how he is gay, one talking about how she was paraplegic or disabled. I don't remember. Oh yeah, she was disabled because she couldn't see very well or hear or something weird like that. And the other one that was black, and well, actually the gay guy and the black chick were black. They really focused in on how they were black and gay and disabled and woman and gay, and they focused in on all that, all while simultaneously yelling "My Coca-Latrial." They focused in on that, and they weren't obviously fans. And actually, they even came out and said, we never actually read any of this stuff, but we're super fans. We're super fans paid by Amazon Prime to, help push this. I wonder why people were probably critical of Rings of Power. I just wonder. Maybe Dinner Geek publishes article comparing the Lord of the Rings of Power critics to mass murderers. Now, this might not be Amazon Prime itself, but these are individuals that, honestly worked hand in hand with Amazon Prime, because a lot of these fan sites got paid by Amazon Prime, coming out here and equating all critics to mass murderers, and also they compared us to racist Yahtzees by, if you guys remember that entire storyline. Remember, we're going down a rabbit hole of stuff, and again, this is just a small tidbit of some of the things that actually came out before the show actually dropped. You had the Lord of the Rings fan site describes fans critical of Rings of Power as toxic, questions their fandom. All while simultaneously, the fans were actually pointing out actual Tolkien lore, actual, things that were they weren't enjoying, things that they weren't seeing. They were watching the show go down a path. Well, they were seeing evidence of the show going down a path that they weren't going to be fans of, and that's what fans do. They start saying, hey, this isn't accurate to Tolkien's work. This isn't accurate to what's actually been said. This isn't accurate to anything Tolkien ever wanted, and also Tolkien would honestly be rolling in his grave over this because of how protective he was of his actual world. But you're toxic for being a fan, and you're not a true fan, even though Tolkien would have completely burned up his entire works watching this show. You had the Lord of the Rings of Power actress, I'm going to butcher her name, Nazanin Bodhide. I probably said that completely wrong, but I don't care. Says her character is an activist. Credits Prime Video writers for giving female characters agency. Oh yeah, more identity politics, more stories based on activism, more stories based on intersectionalism. This is the stuff that they were promoting while the show was just about to air. This is the things they were trying to push on people and saying, this is what we're focusing in on, do with the show. but hey, I wonder why people were critical of it. I wonder. Oh yeah, predictably, the Lord of the Rings of Power executive producer calls critics racists. Yeah, because he didn't like a black elf and a black dwarf, both of which don't make logical sense within the world of actual Tolkien, considering elves are born in starlight and are pale and are ethereal by nature, and dwarves live underground. Doesn't make sense to have a black one of either one. By the way, black people do exist within the world of Lord of the Rings and in Tolkien's works. You just don't want to actually talk about them because for the most part, they're not good people. I gotta be honest, they took the bad side. You also had the Rings of Power. Morphic Clark admits show is perversion of Tolkien's work, tells critics to shut the F up. Oh, I wonder why people were so loving of Morphic Clark. Oh yeah, Lenny Henry. Lenny Henry comes out unapologetic about altering J.R.R. Tolkien's works and the Lord of the Rings of Power. We're telling the story now. You also had, after telling critics to shut the F up, Morphic Clark now claims she was surprised by Galadriel's depiction of the Lord of the Rings of Power. Oh, that's right. She's shocked by everything that goes on because it's bastardization. It's not the real thing. So she's shocked with what she's actually seeing. She's shocked with this bastardized version of Galadriel that doesn't actually exist. But hey, they have to push her on you and make her the hero of the story, which again doesn't make logical sense via Tolkien lore. Oh, you also had the Rings of Power star Lenny Henry imply critics of Amazon's race swap are racist. They have no trouble believing in a dragon, but can't accept that a black person could be a hobbit or an elf. But that's not the thing. Dragons exist within Tolkien's world. Dragons actually are realistic. They're just following the actual lore. They're following the actual facts. They're following what is actually there. And the show could have done black people, but they didn't want to because the hard truth of how black people how they were within that world. But you didn't actually have to do that. No, the show could have had black people. They existed in the world. The problem is the time that you were actually doing on, they weren't there. On top of that, hobbits didn't exist at that time, so criticizing it for having hobbits is a whole other thing, and also elves were born in starlight. It doesn't make logical sense based on the actual lore Tolkien had, but hey, you guys were bastardizing it to begin with, so the shocker that fans weren't enjoying what they were seeing. Oh, you also had Elijah Wood, Sean Astin, and fellow Hobbit actors used as props to denounce Lord of the Rings fans. That's right. Remember, these photos came out. These photos came out with merch made by Amazon that said, use Elvish to say you're all welcome here. Everybody's welcome. If you're a critic of any of this stuff, you're a racist. All while these guys were wearing Amazon Prime merchandise. Wonder who was pushing that one. I don't think it was Elijah Wood and Sean Astin and the other guys. I think it was more than likely Amazon Prime utilizing them as props and utilizing past actors to denounce fans that were critical of Rings of Power. Oh, you also had Ismael Cordovo claims he has faced constant stream of pure and vicious hate speech ever since his casting was announced. Do I have to continue on? Do I have to continue on? Because I can, because of this one. The Rings of Power showrunner accused show's critics of being patently evil. So, and I know this one came out after everything was done, after the show was done airing, but I mean, can you blame Tolkien fans for being critical at all, Ransom? Can you blame them for being critical? Oh, well, you can, especially because when you get into some of her quotes, it makes even less sense. Some fans were mixing Peter Jackson films with Tolkien's works. Huh. I could believe some fans probably did do that, but the fans that didn't actually read the, Tolkien's works and were probably thinking that, this was Peter Jackson's iteration. By the way, the original teaser trailer for Rings of Prime actually utilized Peter Jackson's work to try to use that as a marketing strategy. So I wonder why they might have got all mixed up with that. And we've been trying to stay true to Tolkien and give it a real cool look. Oh, guys, we were trying to stay true to Tolkien the whole time. We were trying to stay true to Tolkien the whole time, even though we couldn't, even though we physically couldn't, and we added hobbits, which didn't exist, but we can't call them hobbits because we don't have the rights to hobbits. Bran Stoker elaborated, I love Peter Jackson's films. That's why I got involved in the first place. Oh, so wait. Fans were mistaking it, but you just said you got involved because of that. Oh, and then, so I guess we've tried to mix everything. So your own words contradict literally everything you were just saying there. So again, can you blame fans for being critical when you yourselves are admitting constantly to not knowing Tolkien's actual works and what Tolkien has actually done? No, because you guys are proud of bastardizing it. You guys are proud of pushing your own agendas through it. And you guys are mad because Tolkien fans have outright rejected it, and audiences across the board outright rejected it, because when you actually scroll down to the, the final numbers, in the States, only 37% of people that actually watch the show stuck around till completion. Overseas, it was 45%. Nobody watched the show. Nobody cared about the show. Nobody wanted anything to do with the show. And it's all because of the marketing that Amazon Prime put out beforehand, turning away the fans, telling the fans that they weren't welcome, telling true Tolkien fans that they weren't welcome. And when you get a director coming out here saying, everybody judged it before it actually came out, I wonder why that happened, considering Amazon Prime and you guys, Charlotte, told the fans from the get-go that they weren't welcome and that they weren't going to like what you guys were putting down. But hey, you get what you get. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I'm going to leave it there, though, guys. Let me get your guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it out with friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, guys. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.